Here in Australia, we're just weeks away from the federal election. We're seeing both major parties use AI images in their campaign. How is this helping them, and what are the benefits of AI in our politics?
Well, we go, and I talk a lot about the harms, but of course, if we step back, there are a lot of benefits. AI is all about abundance, and what it's giving the major parties as well as the minor parties is an ability to have a resource that allows you to produce more content quicker. It allows you to create, as I mentioned before, not just text, but images, audio, catchy songs, all these sorts of things that are then able to influence the sort of people who are seeing this content on a sort of more visceral level. And it's allowing them to do this quicker, it's allowing them to do this faster, and it's allowing them to reach more people. So there are benefits certainly to this abundance that the technology brings, but we do have to watch out for the harms.
Absolutely, and as AI continues to play a bigger part in many aspects of our lives, what advice do you have for us?
Well, I'd say that the solution is going to be threefold, especially with this sort of issue. So number one is probably going to be the government, and I'd say that we have to be careful of how much influence the government has with this sort of thing. But at the base level, as we mentioned before, with this sort of foreign interference, we need to have really harsh and strict rules governing the way that foreign governments are influencing or putting content to our domestic audience to influence our elections. So that's sort of pillar number one. I think pillar number two comes down to the AI companies themselves. Again, we don't want them actually deciding what can and cannot be made with their tools, because that's a very fine line and dangerous line. What we do want is clear protections for political content, whether there's a label on clearly political content or some other form. That's going to help people who are seeing this content online to realize that what they're seeing is not actually real work. But finally, I think the advice for the audience in general, and this is the one good thing that will come out of all of this, is that you're going to have to be more politically aware, and you're going to have to be more careful, which necessitates, I guess, Gabriella, more involvement in our politics, which is always a good thing. We have X and we have community notes. We have Meta trying to do a very similar thing. All of it's coming towards a crowdsourced fact-checking process that allows people to help other people figure out what is real and what's not in this increasingly untrue world.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see, brilliant to be a part of. Stepping away from politics, while we are talking about AI, the race to use AI to potentially cure diseases is already underway. Billions of dollars has been poured into AI-first biotechs. I have to ask you, what are your thoughts? Are we going to be able to see AI at one point cure cancer and other diseases, and how far away could this be?
Well, that's certainly the dream, and it's the dream that every startup right now is pitching to their investors around the world, and it's a dream that, of course, we all hope is going to come true.
Of course.
I certainly think that there's a hope and then there's a reality. The hope is that this technology is advancing at such a rapid rate. It's already being used, and I've seen it in some consulting work that I've been doing recently across biotech companies, across pharma companies, but across every company, really. Because what AI really is, and I think to put it very simply, it is a data crunching machine. It takes an input of data and then it outputs it, does the human grunt work of going through that data that used to take many, many years, and it spits out an output which we hope is going to be useful. Now, at the moment, it's still in its primary stage. It still hasn't done anything to say, wow, this is going to change the world. But we could be a few years away, and I certainly think with the rate of advancement, a few years away from it really having a major impact on medicines and, ultimately, hopefully, a cure to the ultimate disease of cancer.
Absolutely incredible. Rion Ahl, former lead of AI and innovation at the Turner Institute. Thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour. It's been great to talk to you.
Great as always, Gabriella. Thank you.